All right, well, I got halfway through the problem and my computer froze. So this is how we do this piece. The 2 points that we have here are when you have 20 cameras and then the cost was, or the price is $225, okay? This is the relationship here. And then if you had 195, it's because you sold 45 cameras. So they told us that X has to be the weekly sale of cameras, how many you sold, and P is going to be that price. Okay, so now what this is saying is, okay, you have to, when you have 2 points, you use these 2 points to calculate the slope, okay? You do this for every line. Whenever you have 2 points, you've got to be able to find the line between them. That's a very, very basic fundamental Algebra 1 skill. So how did I get this line? Well, I discussed this all in the last video and before it got froze. But you got to find the slope first, okay? You got to find the M first, then you're going to find the B. Now, the Y and the X are needed to make the equation. You have to have an input to get the output. So the Y and the X are going to be there, but you need the M and the B. So here's how you get the M by using those 2 points to find the M, get the slope, and you get -6/5. Okay. Now this, hopefully you do it masterfully. You do it right every time. Got to be able to find the slope between 2 points. Fundamental skill. So we're going to put that right there. Okay. But this was blank at first. I did not know what this plus 249 was. In order to find out this guy, I had to use one of the points. Okay. I decided to go with the 20 to 25. And I put the Y coordinate here and the X coordinate here. Okay, and then I put the B right there, and I don't know what he is. But I do know that if I plug in a 20, okay, and I get this slope, and I multiply to the slope, I have to add or subtract, if it's negative, something to make me turn it into 225. Now that could be 0. I doubt it, but it could be. So when I figure out that when I multiply 20 to that slope, that's -6/5, by the way, and then I crossed it out. I got -24. Then I had to move the 24 over to the other side. So it ends up being 249. So the B is 249. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to interpret this slope here, okay? What this means is every time I want to sell a camera, an extra camera, okay, I'm going to have to drop the price by -6/5, okay? So it's kind of weird to say a negative price drop because then it sounds like a double negative. But think of it as a negative increase is a drop, okay? So what we have to do is if we want to sell one more extra camera for that week, we have to reduce this guy by -6/5. Now what is that? -6 divided by 5 is actually -1.2. So if I want to sell an extra camera, okay, to sell another camera, price needs to drop $1.20. Okay, so price needs to drop $1.20 for me to sell one extra camera. Okay, so if I want to sell 75 cameras, well, let's see what this price has to be. Okay, or let's see what I should set the price as. So -6.5, I'm going to plug in a 75. Okay, so if I want to sell 75 cameras, I'm going to go ahead and just execute this. -6/5 times 75 equals that, plus the 249. And I better sell it for $159. Okay, if I sold it for $159 each, I'm going to get 75 cameras. Okay. All right. Now let me just kind of say we're going to cross out number 8. So you don't have to do that. That was probably confusing. We crossed out those examples in our notes as well. Okay, but this guy, we're going to use a calculator for this guy. Okay. Now we have a quadratic here, so we know he looks like this, right? His shape is a quadratic. So in hundreds, okay, the cost in hundreds to produce X thousand mechanical pencils is represented by the function. So when I plug in how many thousands of mechanical pencils I want to make, the function will spit out the cost in hundreds of dollars. Okay, so how many pencils should be produced to minimize the cost? Okay, so how many pencils can I make? What is my x coordinate have to be in order to produce the minimum amount of cost? So let's go ahead and just graph this guy. So x squared, we're going to go ahead and graph this guy and find the minimum. Okay, just like what we did on the front page. Okay, so let's do a zoom format. Now, my guess is that we're not going to be able to see it. Oh, there he is. Cool. So this means I can find the minimum right there. Now, it looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My guess is that is exactly 5, but I'm going to go ahead and find that minimum using, okay, and the minimum, here's the right. And my guess is that it's right about there. Okay, and it is 5. Okay, so what does that mean? I found the minimum at 5. So what this means then is how many pencils should I produce to minimize my cost? Okay, remember my cost is all of this. So the cost is really high if I want to produce 200, and the cost is really high if I want to produce that. Now, I don't know why this happens. There's plenty of reasons why this could happen. But right here is the sweet spot between the purchase of materials, the electricity used in the factory, the paying the wages of people, could all be kind of built into this function. So this means then that when we make 500 pencils, we minimize our costs. Okay, so what is the minimum cost? Well, let's go ahead and find out what that is. 5. Okay, so X is 500 pencils. Our cost is 5,000 mechanical pencils. I said 5,000. Thank you. You're probably yelling at the screen. It's the other way around. This guy is going to be $500. Okay, so to produce 5,000 is going to require $500. Okay. Okay, where are we at? 7 minutes. We'll do this last one here. All right, now when you have a table and you are trying to figure out this value here, okay, it looks like this guy feels a little random. Okay, it kind of looks like it's going up by 6, then 6, and then up 4, and then up 4, and then up 2. So something's going on. So the only thing you can do, okay, is to get its first difference. Now, what is the first difference between these two? That's going to be 6.5. Okay, 10.5 minus 4 is 6.5. Then this guy is actually 5.5. This guy is 4.5. This guy is 3.5. Okay, you probably see a pattern here. Okay, now if you can catch this right here, okay, if you looked at this guy's going down by 1 every single time, which makes this a quadratic. Okay, so this means that if this is a quadratic, and so far it's a perfect quadratic, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to execute this pattern one more time. If I'm going to go down 1, I'm about to go down 1 again. So this means this difference right here should be 1.5. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that 1.5 goes right here in the question mark. It means that 26.5, okay, where you need to drop him 1.5. That's just going to be 25. So your answer is 25. Okay, so G of 6 has to equal 25. Okay, we'll stop right there.